Good day, everyone, and welcome to this edition of ACAP Today. I'm Jason Parent, the CEO of the Aroostook County Action Program, your host for this program. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, and it's Workforce Wednesday here on ACAP Today. We'll be introducing our guests who will be talking about a number of things happening and how we're reaching individuals at this time with workforce development services. But before we do that, we're going to turn to today's headlines and information that you need to know from the Aroostook County Action Program and our community partners. So we begin today with the first news item that we wanted to share with you, and that is, of course, the financial literacy courses that ACAP is offering. We are working, obviously, to combat poverty in Aroostook County, and one of the ways that we're doing that is by helping individuals with financial literacy and courses in that regard. Chastity Holland is our contact person and is offering financial literacy courses specifically for youth ages 16 to 24. If you sign up and attend all 3 sessions that Chastity is offering, a $25 gift card is in it for you. So please do contact Chastity. Her telephone number and her email address are on the screen. Tobacco cessation is another program that we're currently offering right now at a distance. There's group online classes and support meetings. And quit date setting is all available to you at a distance. Please do contact Elaine Sipe, who is our tobacco cessation coordinator here at ACAP. This is a partnership between ACAP, Fresh Start of the American Cancer Society, the Quit Link, and is funded by the Maine Cancer Foundation. Elaine's contact information is also there on your screen. For those individuals who are concerned about perhaps falling behind on their home mortgage payments at this time, we do encourage you to reach out to our foreclosure counselor, Greg Doak. He can certainly give you good advice as you are looking to potentially have a conversation with your lender about extending payments at this time. So please do contact Greg Doak at 554-4175 or the email address on your screen. We are also recruiting for the fall season for Head Start at this time, and that can also all be done virtually at this time. So please do call our Head Start centers today. The number is 768-3045. We can register you at any of our in-person centers across Aroostook County, be it in Fort Kent, Caribou, Presque Isle, or Holton, or through our home-based Head Start program if you live in one of our more rural communities in Aroostook County, where we have someone come right to your home, and those will be beginning again in the fall of this year. Need help? We do offer programs such as the Home Energy Assistance Program, which one of our guests, Erin Benson, spoke with us about last week. She'll be joining us to talk about workforce in just a bit. But we do have a new opportunity for you to look at just your income for this past month if you've been displaced as a result of COVID-19. The same is true for the Women, Infant, and Children's Program, or the WIC program that ACAP administers locally. Please do give us a call if you think that you might be able to benefit from either one of these services at this challenging time. We told you about this on Monday and have been updating you about it since. The Wellness Shelter for Individuals Experiencing Homelessness, that's a partnership between the Aroostook County Action Program, University of Maine at Presque Isle, Aroostook County Emergency Management Agency, and our friends at Maine Housing, the City of Presque Isle, and Homeless Services of Aroostook. Staff will be training in this center tomorrow with the goal to have it operational by Friday and be accepting our first individuals into the shelter this weekend. We're also currently accepting donations as the CDC is now recommending wearing face cloths in public. We have several of our staff, including those who will be working in the wellness shelter, that could certainly benefit from having face cloths. If you would like to make a donation of face cloths, if you're handy in that way and would like to help us out, we certainly would appreciate those. You can drop them by our facilities in Holton, in Caribou, Presque Isle, and in Fort Kent. There's a doorbell, a video doorbell outside the facility. Just ring the doorbell and let folks know. They'll be able to interact with you from inside that you're leaving the face mask behind, and we will pick them up. We'd certainly appreciate any donations of face masks that you might be so generous to give. So thank you very much in advance. We want to also share with you that our partners in healthcare here in Aroostook County, our 4 county hospitals, are all encouraging county residents to follow CDC guidelines on social distancing. They are also asking folks to call ahead and to understand how best to engage with them if folks are experiencing symptoms of COVID-19. The numbers of our 4 county hospitals are there on your screen. They have various protocols at this time, so we do encourage you to reach out to your local hospital before venturing out. Also, yesterday we learned of the Maine Department of Education recommendations to school districts that they continue to use remote and distance learning opportunities for the remainder of the 2019-20 school year. We are currently reviewing that information and certainly will have further guidance as it relates to our education programs, most notably our Head Start and Early Head Start programs, as we continue through the COVID-19 situation. A reminder that we've also been sharing with you all week, the unemployment, Maine Department of Labor as it relates to unemployment in order to better facilitate calls, has begun a last name directory. The good news is that Thursday and Friday are left unassigned for those who missed their alphabetical day or need to call because they didn't have the information they needed on Monday through Wednesday. So please do call the Department of Labor at the number on your screen to file an unemployment claim. Again, Thursday and Friday are open days. And one last reminder before we welcome our guests onto the program, this is, amidst all of the activity that's happening, a census year, 2020, and we want to ensure folks are counted. There has been a tremendous amount of effort already put into this, but as of April 4, 2020, you can see there that Aroostook County has had about 32.7% respond to the census for 2020. We want to encourage you, if you do have that information, to please do respond. We want to see our rate increase, and please do reach out. There's a website on your screen and additional information that should have come to you in the mail. So please do complete your Census 2020 information. It's very important that we do that. Key federal funding for a variety of programs is based on our Census 2020 numbers. So it's very important. And so it is my pleasure now to welcome our guests to today's program. We have the largest number of guests that we've had on an ACAP Today production. One of them is a familiar face, Erin Benson from ACAP's Workforce Development Program, who happened to also oversee our Home Energy Assistance Program and joined us last week. Welcome back, Erin.
Thank you.
We also have one of Erin's colleagues, Kathy Williams, who is working on a number of new initiatives for ACAP, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Kathy, welcome to you. And she's muted, so she's going to unmute. There we are. Thank you, Kathy. And Susan Cerini from Eastern Maine Development Corporation is a great partner. We've had some great partnerships with the EMDC, and she's going to talk a little bit about the programs that they're offering right now and how those are a little bit different, and also about some things that we're doing that are very exciting together. So Susan, welcome to you.
Thank you.
And I'm saving her for last because we're going to start with her first. So I'm going to welcome her and also ask the first question. She is Joanna Russell. She's the Executive Director of the Northeastern Workforce Development Board, which may not be familiar to some folks here in Aroostook County because a lot of the great work that they've done is done through ACAP here in specific delivery service. But I'm pleased to welcome you to the program, Joanna, and want to begin with the first sort of two questions is tell us about Northeastern Workforce Development Board for folks who may not be familiar with it, and also talk about how Northeastern Workforce Development Board and its partners are working through these unprecedented times.
Thank you, Jason. Good afternoon. I'd like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to share information this afternoon. And I would also like to thank you and all of your staff for the great work that you're doing. The Northeastern Workforce Development Board is an entity made up of partners across the 5 counties that we actually oversee in the workforce system. The 5 counties include Aroostook, Washington, Penobscot, Piscataquis, and Hancock County. The board is made up of no less than 51% businesses. So we have a very strong voice coming from our business partners, who again are all across the 5 counties. We also have representation from the community college, adult education, We have the Bureau of Employment Services, vocational rehabilitation, community-based operations. So we have a very strong voice with partners across the 5 counties. Our 3 primary responsibilities are to, 1, convene all the partners, and the goal is to connect businesses with job seekers. So convening all the partners to develop strategic planning, where the partners are all giving a voice to the directions that we're going to take in terms of bringing our businesses together with job seekers. We are one of 3 local workforce boards, and we receive the funds that come down from USDOL to Maine Department of Labor. And we administer the contracts for the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. So we contract out to our service providers, who are Eastern Maine Development Corporation and Aroostook County Action Program. They go out and they deliver services to the job seekers and businesses. So we administer the contracts, strategic planning, and convening our partners, and we oversee the contracts, which means that we go out and we will sample job seekers, ask them how they're doing, were they able to actually access and receive services and resources that were needed to get them from point A to point B, which is often to go from the starting point of not knowing what they want to do to getting that direction and support from the career counselors and the workforce specialists. Then going to education and then on to a job. So that's pretty general. I think that one of the things I also want to make a strong point with is that we're very fortunate in the Northeastern area. Our board is very active. They're ambassadors for our workforce system, and they have a very solid knowledge or grounding in the work that EMDC and ACAP do. So they make it their business to come to quarterly meetings. They ask the appropriate questions. They requested to have participants come and share their stories, because that's one of the best ways that they connect the dots and make sure that the participants are receiving the kinds of services that the board wants them to receive. And these times that we're in right now, just to kind of wrap that second question up, it's not wrapped up. And I frankly will say I have never been more proud of the people I work with than I have been in the last 3 weeks. I am moved beyond any point that I have ever been in the job that I'm working in right now. Our ACAP and EMDC have gone the extra mile. They have worked tirelessly to, 1, contact every single participant that's receiving services. They've tried to reach out to the folks that have exited to find out where are you okay? And in a lot of cases, asking, what do you need? Are you okay under these circumstances that we're all dealing with today, which are unprecedented times? We have nothing to fall back on. We have no experience to look back on and say, okay, we can follow that path because it worked well. So today we are again beating another path that has just been untraveled at this point. The board, I am in contact with them on a daily basis. The executive committee is always keeping their finger on the pulse to make sure that we're moving forward as we have been directed to do. And that's happening. So we have, I think, a lot to be proud of here in the 5 counties. And I really don't want to take up too much more time because I know that ACAP and EMDC have a lot to share.
So let's turn to Erin Benson of ACAP Workforce Development. Say, Erin, how is the team, the workforce development team, navigating these uncharted waters right now?
Exactly like this. We're meeting virtually. You know, our doors are closed to foot traffic, but we are all still here and available by phone, by email, by Zoom, Google Hangouts. And what we're trying to do is, the first thing we did was when we knew that our the education providers were moving to an online environment, we contacted all of our clients that were in some kind of training to say, do you have the appropriate equipment to take this challenge on? And so we were able to purchase some computers for people to help some people with internet to make sure that they could continue and thrive in this new environment. So that was the first thing that we did. And just to get an understanding, as Joanna had said before, you know, how are you? What do you need? What's in light of what's happening now, what are the needs that we're not even thinking about because we're not experiencing it in the same way they are. So our next step is, you know, to make sure that we reach out to people to see where they are now and what kind of services we can provide now. And one of the things that we're doing, and I'm going to let Kathy talk about this. So Kathy, you're going to have to unmute yourself. One of the things that we're doing is we've put together a series of virtual workshops, career readiness workshops. That we are going to invite people in, and actually our first one is tomorrow, but I'm going to let Kathy talk about those workshops and the development of them.
Hi, thanks, Erin. So my coworkers, our career counselors here in Northeastern County, we've created 5 workshops that we're going to do via Zoom. We actually, our first one is tomorrow. I've sent out a Zoom link for people that were interested that had emailed me. And it's going to be talking about job search. How do you do a job search, especially now that you're at home and you can't go out directly and meet with employers. So it'll be about, you know, how to do the job search. What are some different websites that you can use to look for jobs? Part of it will be on how do you fill out your job application and making sure that it's filled out completely and right. And another part of that will be how do you manage your time now that you're home? How do you manage your time and make sure that you're doing what it is that you need to be doing so that when we can all get back out there and go to work, that will happen for us. Our other workshop, our second workshop, will be on career decision making. If you're looking at retraining, going back to school, what is it that you really want to do, and make sure that you're making the right choices that fit with your goals. We will have our third workshop will be on how to cope during COVID-19, and we will actually have a guest speaker from I call it TAMIC, but it's not. It's Northern Light, A.R. Gould. So we will have a guest speaker from there talking to us about how to cope during this time that we're all home and things are different and we can't do what we want to do. Then we will have one on resume writing, making sure that your resume is perfect so that it will help you. And our last one will be on interviewing tips. And we'll also have a local HR person come in from a business to talk about how you're interviewing and what they expect to see and what are some of the questions they might ask and how you might answer those. Those will all be on Thursdays. So every Thursday, starting tomorrow, we'll have a different workshop for 5 consecutive weeks. It does start at 1 o'clock. If anybody's interested, they can email me. I will send them a Zoom link. And we're just really hoping to have a good time with it and connect with people, because what other way can we do that? You know, maybe go outside and drive in their driveway and sit and have a cup of coffee in our car and haul through the windows. I've seen some people at when I went to get groceries, they were like at Dunkin' Donuts, sitting in their cars 6 feet apart, but still being able to chat. So I think this is just a time that we can, you know, at least, I mean, email's great, but seeing people face to face, I think really makes a difference and makes people feel like they're not the only one that's isolated. So we're hoping to have a good turnout at them. And if they work well, we can always create different ones based on what they think they have told us that they want and they need. So pretty excited about that.
Response so far been good, Kathy?
Not so well this first one. I'm hoping that will increase. I've actually shared my stuff with Sam from EMDC and invited her to invite any of their customers that want to attend any of them. More than welcome to have them.
That's a perfect segue to talk with Susan Cerini at Eastern Maine Development Corporation. Susan, I'm sure that the EMDC team, as innovative and creative as you are and great partners, are also figuring out ways to continue and probably serve customers in unique and new ways. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you guys for having us today. I'm very, very pleased with the partnership we have. I think that the part of our success in the region that we're in is because we have worked so well together. Even before we got to where we are right now, we were already doing teamwork as a region. So I think that that's what's going to make everything else going forward even more successful. We've been spending a lot of time contacting, doing the same things that Erin and Kathy have been talking about. So I won't repeat too much of that, but we have reached our participants. Through that, we decided to start some series of virtual workshops, trying to adjust to where everybody is right now, is trying to adjust our programs the same way. So we're on week 3 of a job readiness where, again, it's similar to the job stuff that Kathy has talked about. And the other exciting thing is we're on week 2 of what we're calling the healthcare quarantine. And we're doing that together, actually. We came up with a series based on what we learned, which was our healthcare folks were in classroom settings and now moving to online. And the thing about that was that they were losing that interaction together. So we were hoping to create this meetup that would allow them to still have those discussions, work together. And we worked with Kathy to make that happen as well. So we've had participants from ACAP that have been there. And Kathy and Sam have spent a lot of time in the last week talking about the other pieces of the series we want to do. So I think that's one of the best accomplishments because we're doing it together. So I feel really fortunate to be able to do that. The next thing that we're working on is a virtual information session. And again, we've been very fortunate because twice a week, Erin and Kathy participate on a call with myself, John Farley, and Joanna, where we get to talk about how to best serve the participants in our region. So like I said before, the fact that we're doing this together is what's going to make that even more successful because we all have great ideas. We're all doing great work. We're all very proud of the work we're doing. I think that everything I see that comes from ACAP especially, we really enjoy those updates and learning about what's going on because I think that it shows the enthusiasm and the motivation and the dedication that we all have to the people, both for social services as well as on the economic development side, really make that partnership even stronger. So I think that, you know, what we're doing right now, the virtual workshops are one of the most important pieces to the work we're doing because we're adjusting ourselves working from home, but now we're also trying to provide the services the best that we can given the situation that we're in.
Great. Well, partnership is the perfect segue to the next topic that we're going to talk about. And it's before this, the pandemic was really on our radar screen even. And before our life as we knew it sort of changed, we had been talking about working collaboratively, Northeastern Workforce Development Board, the Aroostook County Action Program, and Eastern Maine Development Corporation around another crisis in our community, one that is very prevalent and also very challenging. And I think we're starting to see some opportunities here. And one of those is a joint collaborative effort that we've come through on an opioid workforce initiative. And so, Joanna, maybe I can start with you with the thought behind that and maybe talk about some of the goals of that project and let folks know what that's all about, because we were just starting to talk about it when all of this broke out. And I think folks' sort of attention was diverted, but this is still a very real crisis in our communities and the opportunity is still there to make a difference.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. I will say that the conversation started at the state level, and the 3 local boards got together and talked about what was happening across the U.S. and that there was an opportunity to apply for a national emergency grant. And in that process, we of course pulled in the workforce service providers and developed a plan, a proposal to reach out to job seekers, to reach out to businesses and to our community on I think 2 different tracks. One is to work with individuals who are impacted by the opioid crisis themselves. So I see that you have the slide up, so I'm going to try to stay on that track. What we wanted to do was facilitate and strengthen community partnerships central to dealing with the complex health crisis. And in part, I think we have to look at the stigma around the opioid crisis. And how that relates to workforce is actually multifaceted. And one of the goals that I wake up every morning with this on my mind is how to educate the community and employers around what is recovery, and to help them understand the value of recovery as it relates to individuals who have struggled with addiction. And the struggle with addiction doesn't necessarily mean just with the individual who is addicted. It means a family member who could be absent from work multiple times due to the impact of their family member who is addicted. So this is widespread. And we're also working with employers around the hiring process and evaluating and assessing a job candidate who comes to an interview and presents really well. However, they might have some experience with the legal system, and that can oftentimes eliminate them from the pool of candidates. And so we're working diligently to help educate and provide information to employers so that they can take some pause and really explore what individuals have done to really rebuild their lives and the time that they have spent in building a foundation of recovery. So that's part of that process.
So thank you. Did you have something else you wanted to say on that, Joanna, before?
No, I think, that really it encompasses a lot of what we're doing. And I'll let EMDC and ACAP talk about the tracks that we'll be on in terms of trying to serve the community.
So Erin, why don't we go to you to talk about how participants might be eligible for this program? Who are we going to be able to engage in this work?
First of all, somebody who acknowledges that they have been affected by the crisis. It doesn't, as Joanna said earlier, it doesn't need to be them personally. It could be, a loved one, a family member. And we don't need information about it or documentation. They just have to, tell us that they have been affected, and then we can serve them. We can help them with training and support services. This is a 2-year grant. And so if somebody wants to be retrained in an area, or they want to get a new skill set and upgrade, this is going to be possible for them. Also for dislocated workers who are experiencing long-term unemployment, we can help them train in areas that will lead to professions that will actually help in this crisis. So it could be an addiction treatment, mental health, pain management, those areas as well. But I think the most important thing is to realize that there's a whole segment of society out there that could be very valuable in the workforce. And right now, many of them are being ignored. And so I think what this grant is trying to help do is to get those people back to work and get employers a workforce that they need. And so I think that's very valuable.
Susan Cerini, your team at Eastern Maine Development Corporation, excited and see the need for this opportunity?
Absolutely. This is something we've been following for some time. And even though all of us, including, ACAP, our partners, we've all been able to work with folks throughout, the processes that we've had. But now we're given more of an opportunity to really expand that and to really be able to work with them a little bit quicker at times. I think that this grant provides us with more collaboration opportunities. It provides us with opportunities to really take those workers, like Erin had mentioned, there's workers out there that, there's plenty of them. Sometimes though that their barrier is being surrounded in some way, shape or form around the opioid crisis. So I think I look at them as there's a sideline of workers trying to get on the inside. And this grant and the work that we're going to do, hopefully we'll be able to help with that. We'll hopefully be able to work with employers more, be able to provide them with education and successes at the same time.
So Kathy Williams, I know you've been tapped with sort of being the point person for ACAP on this new opportunity. Your thoughts as we prepare to gear up with this new program?
I'm really excited to see how we can work and collaborate with each other and provide the services that these folks are going to need, especially today in the situation that we're in today. I think that adds a little more stress to them and to their daily lives. So we've actually we will very soon be coming out with a job description and actually setting it out there so that we can get people interested for a career counselor in this field, and hopefully get somebody on board very soon, get them trained with what they need so that we can just really jump in full force, more so once the crisis is over, but to start providing some services right now.
Well, clearly we could have done one program on each of the topics that we've talked about in this segment alone. Sort of want to give folks the opportunity to get a last word in if there's anything that we haven't covered, anything that we've missed. Joanna, Russell, I'll begin with you.
I just think that it's important that people understand the only thing, if they want help, is to go to ACAP or Eastern Maine Development Corporation at the sites that they're located at. And just say, I am somebody who has been affected and would like to receive services for the opioid crisis.
Great. Erin, Benson.
In the next 10 years, 8,000 people will graduate from high school in Aroostook County and 10,000 people will retire. So even if we could keep all 8,000 of those high school graduates here working, we would still not have enough. So I think what's important is that no stone be left unturned, that everybody is valuable to the workforce system, and that we are going to provide services to get more people into that workforce system that previously might not have been able to.
Well said. Kathy Williams.
I'd just like to say that we're here. I know that we're not in our office. It's a different time, but we can be reached by email. We can be reached by phone. So we can still provide the services that we've always provided. So please reach out to us. Don't think that we're not here, because we are.
And how about our friends at Eastern Maine Development Corporation? Susan Cerini, what are your last words for folks out there?
I think my last words is that I hope that they, after watching this, they will feel very secure in knowing that no matter where they are in our region, that they're going to have great advocacy, that they have great resources at their fingertips, and that regardless of where they are, between our two agencies alone, we're all here to help together collaboratively. We're ready to be innovative, creative, and be able to provide what we can to help everybody get through everything.
Well, thank you all. And I guess I just have to say that we're very fortunate here at ACAP to house about 40 different programs under one roof, if you will, within our agency in different locations across Aroostook County. And in those 40 programs, we have hundreds of partnerships and are blessed with hundreds of wonderful partners. But I could think of no two better partners than Northeastern Workforce Development Board and Eastern Maine Development Corporation, who have been critical partners and are going to be so important. These partnerships are going to be so important as we help people get back on their feet post the current state that we're in, and even help them get through, as we've talked about in this broadcast. So to Joanna, Kathy, Susan, and Erin, thank you so much for joining us on ACAP Today.
Thank you.
Jason.
Before we leave you today, just a couple of reminders. One, that if you're looking to get help or give help, please do reach out to aroostookcommunity.com. It's the one place that we've identified, working in partnership with the Aroostook Health Network, Aroostook Area Agency on Aging, Pines Health Services, Sweden Street Technology, to, as I just said, go online to offer your assistance or to post where you might need assistance. We've added some categories such as childcare providers and things of that nature. So it's a great place to go. If you can't access the website for whatever reason or are having difficulty navigating it, do call ACAP's number. We have individuals standing by who can either help by posting your query on the website or connect you directly with services. In addition to that, I want to remind folks to do stay in touch. We're all in this together, so please do reach out if you need help. Call us at 764-3721. Email us at info-acap@acap-me.org. Visit us on Facebook or visit our website. And of course, check out our YouTube channel. A lot of our early care and education professionals, some of our prevention services folks, have put on some wonderful videos there. You can have a story read to your child, a bedtime story read to your child by one of our early care and education professionals by visiting our YouTube site. So do check it out. You can also check out past broadcasts of ACAP Today on that YouTube channel. And finally, as we do every day, we leave you with our snapshot of the day. This is Harper, who is a student in our Dyer Brook Partnership Classroom in Southern Aroostook. It was sent by her teacher, grandmother, and ACAP team member, Brenda Hershey. Brenda said the following, who's Harper's mom, Shannon, who would be Brenda's daughter, says, "While we did not anticipate this is how Harper would spend her year at pre-K, we are making the most of it. The teachers are doing such a fantastic job with learning packets and checking in to make sure we have all of the necessary resources to help Harper prepare for kindergarten next year. We also really appreciate the meals that ACAP sends. When she isn't doing her schoolwork, she is crafting and making pictures for others. Harper says, I miss my school and my friends. I can't wait to see them again. And Harper, we can't wait to see you again, hopefully sometime soon. And for everyone out there, please be safe and stay healthy. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.